What's going on, everybody? Today we're doing 3 players Crystal Palace should keep and 3 players Crystal Palace should sell. Now, this one was kind of tough for me, actually, not because of anything in particular in regards to how good some of these players are, how bad some of these players are. The problem is it's just not a super deep squad, so the section where players they should keep, it's almost like you want to keep a good chunk or sell a good chunk. There's just a lot of players that could go, and then a lot of players you may not want to see go because you need a little bit of depth if you want to upgrade the first team, and they could be second, tier players or bench players or come off the bench players or whatever it may be. So it's pretty difficult here, but we're going to try our best. So we're going to jump on into this. 3 players that Crystal Palace should keep. Number 1, Van Aanholt. Now, last year, Van Aanholt was linked with a move away quite a bit, and it was believed that they almost found a route away for him, but he has had a particularly good year. He's always, pretty good going forward, pretty good at the back as well. A couple goals, couple assists to his name, and a player who, when you're trying to get better, is one of those players that you really can't afford to lose. And when you're trying to get out of mid-table or get out of relegation fights, kind of make that jump up to the next tier, getting rid of players who've played well for you even if they want to leave, or whether you think you've made a replacement, a little bit of consistency in terms of talent is all that's really needed. And when you inject a little bit more here and there, but what's really gets you up there is a little bit of consistency in that department. So Van Aanholt should be staying. Next, Jordan Ayew. Now, I would imagine that Crystal Palace might be looking for a striker. I personally would, but of the players left here up front, Jordan Ayew is one I would definitely keep around. He had a pretty good year last year, some good goals in there, leading a line that's not particularly great in terms of goals scored or, ability to score goals. There are some good players along the front line, but the team as a whole is a very defensive, and, it's not like they're playing attacking quality football all of the time. So, in a system like that, to go up and have the season he's had a really good season, and keeping him around and maybe finding him a partner, or, if he becomes the backup or whatever it may be, he needs to be at the club. And number 3, Vrijdeveld. Now, this is a tough one because I was looking for a third, and when you look through the Palace squad, in midfield, there are a bunch of midfielders I wouldn't mind moving on, but a load of them I definitely wouldn't mind having. Now, Vrijdeveld is particularly special, and the reason I picked him is because he's played quite a few games at left back last year, but versatility is such a great trait to have, having the ability to play left back or defensive midfielder. Being able to have both is definitely a great place to be. Now, there are plenty of midfielders in there I would keep, but it's also a position that I could upgrade, or not me, I keep saying but I would theoretically upgrade. But there are plenty of players, McCarthy, MacArthur, Vrijdeveld, obviously. Those are players that are nice to have around, but can definitely be upgraded upon. So it's a very difficult situation, but if I had to pick from the midfield, Vrijdeveld would be the one I would pick. Now, 3 players Crystal Palace should sell. Number 1, Max Meyer. Now, Max Meyer came in with a very nice reputation. It seemed like a coup at the time, but since it's kind of gone downhill slowly, and it ended this year with him making less than 10 appearances. He's on the highest wage at the club, I believe. I think it's around £125,000 a week for 6 appearances at a club like Crystal Palace. You just cannot carry dead weight and dead money like that. He ought to go. Just find anyone who will take money, or who will give you money for him, take his wages off the bill, and let him go. Number 2, Christian Benteke. Now, Hodgson seems to like Benteke. I don't know. When I play my goal scorers, I would thoroughly expect goals, and it doesn't really come very often with Benteke. Of course, he's good at different things, holding the ball up and stuff like that. But I think the attacking talent around the team, I think you would have been better off instead of forcing your system in there, sitting back, breaking. I think they would have been better off, trying to find a way to move the ball around and let those front three go at it. But Christian Benteke, I don't know. I just don't see it here. He's on quite a bit of money after moving from Liverpool. I would move him on, find a different striker who can come in and contribute a little bit more. And then number 3, Wilfried Zaha. This one is tough, and I imagine it's tough for Palace fans, but this one has been coming quite a while, and it's been pretty good of him to just stick around for as long as he has. He could have definitely caused a fuss or more of a fuss and, forced his way out of the club. And now in the end they may get less than what they really would have hoped for, what anybody would have expected for, but it's just time. It's just time. You can't keep players like this way past them, or way past what they really should be keeping them around for. Eventually it just gets on everybody. It gets on him because he knows he might be or should be playing at a bigger club. It gets on the fans because they kind of just waiting for it to end. You don't almost enjoy it that way. And then it gets on the club because you're constantly being asked about it. I imagine people are constantly, registering their interest or asking how much they'd like and stuff like that. It just eventually weighs on everybody. Get the good chunk of money, enjoy the time he spent there, and, work forward after that. But yeah, guys, those are the 3 players I'd keep and the 3 I'd sell at Crystal Palace. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Crystal Palace, while I follow the Premier League, is not a team I know inside and out, so you guys may have different opinions than I do. I think my 6 players there, I think most people would agree with. But, it is what it is, so let me know down below, guys. But that is it for now, so peace.